Imagine walking into a room, and in less than 5 seconds, everyone has already decided who you are. They've made up their minds about your intelligence, your level of success, even your character. But what if every single thing they believed about you was completely wrong? What if the quiet person in the corner, the one nobody notices, was fighting the hardest battle of their life? Today, I want to tell you a story that might just change the way you look at every single person you meet from this day forward. Because the truth is, the biggest mistake we make as human beings is judging a story we know absolutely nothing about. And by the end of this video, you may never judge someone the same way again. Every single day, we judge people without even realizing it. It's almost automatic. We see someone dressed in simple or worn-out clothes, and we might assume they're unsuccessful. We see someone who's quiet and reserved, and our minds jump to the conclusion that they're weak or lack confidence. We see someone who seems angry or short-tempered, and we label them as a bad person. But here's the fundamental truth that most people forget. You are only seeing a moment, a tiny, fleeting snapshot, not their entire life. Behind every face, behind every person you cross paths with, there is a story. A story filled with struggles you cannot see, with pain you cannot possibly imagine, and with silent battles they are fighting every single day. Let me tell you about a man who walked into a coffee shop in New York one morning. He looked exhausted. His clothes were wrinkled. His beard was messy, and he just seemed completely out of it. Almost immediately, the people around him started whispering. Some assumed he was homeless, judging by his appearance. Others thought he was just lazy, someone who didn't care about how he presented himself. A few people even subtly moved their bags and laptops away from him, creating a physical distance. But what nobody in that coffee shop knew was the truth. That man had just spent the entire night without a moment of sleep in a hospital. His young daughter had just survived a major, life-threatening surgery. He hadn't slept. He hadn't eaten. He hadn't even had a chance to shower. He had simply stepped out for a few minutes to grab a cup of coffee before heading right back to her bedside. The people judging him so harshly had no idea that he had just endured one of the most difficult and terrifying nights of his entire life. This is exactly how judgment works. It's a flawed and dangerous process. We see a tiny 5% of someone's life, a single frame in a very long movie, and we arrogantly assume we understand 100% of it. We fill in the other 95% with our own biases, our own assumptions, and our own limited experiences. And almost every single time, we get it wrong. Now, you might be thinking, why do we do this? Why are we so quick to judge? Well, psychologists say our brains are hardwired for it. It's an ancient survival instinct. Our brains try to categorize people and situations as quickly as possible, friend or foe, safe or dangerous. It's a mental shortcut that helped our ancestors survive in a much more perilous world. But in our modern, complex society, this instinct can make us incredibly unfair. It can make us cruel without even intending to be, because people are infinitely more complex than our first impressions. That person who seems incredibly confident and has it all together, they might be battling deep-seated insecurity and a crippling fear of failure. The person who looks so successful with the fancy car and the big house, they might be profoundly lonely, sacrificing their relationships for their career. The person who is always smiling, always laughing, always the life of the party, they might be using that smile as a mask to hide unbearable pain. And the person you judge so quickly today might just be the one who has the power to inspire you tomorrow if you only gave them the chance. There is a powerful rule that the most successful, wise, and empathetic people follow. It's incredibly simple, but it's this. Replace judgment with curiosity. That's Italiano. Instead of immediately thinking, why is this person acting like that? Or what's wrong with them? Ask yourself a different question. Ask, I wonder what this person might be going through, or what could be happening in their life right now to make them feel this way. This small mental shift changes absolutely everything. It's the difference between building a wall and opening a door. Empathy opens doors that judgment slams shut. Every single time. Think about this story. There was a teacher who noticed one of her students was falling asleep in class almost every single day. Other teachers in the school had already labeled him. They called him lazy. Some even said he was disrespectful and didn't care about his education. But this one teacher, she decided not to judge. She saw a struggling kid. Not a bad one. One afternoon, she pulled him aside and asked him privately, with genuine concern in her voice, "Is everything okay? I've noticed you're really tired in class." The boy, who had been putting up a tough front for so long, just broke down and started crying. He confessed that every single night, he worked a job at a local grocery store until 2 in the morning. He was helping his single mother pay the rent and put food on the table. He wasn't lazy, he was utterly exhausted, balancing the responsibilities of an adult with the pressures of being a student. That one moment of understanding changed everything. The teacher didn't punish him, she helped him. She connected his family with social services and worked with him to find a way to balance his schedule. She helped him apply for scholarships. Years later, that same boy, the one everyone else had written off as lazy, became a doctor. Imagine, just for a second, what would have happened if she had judged him like everyone else did? An entire life's trajectory was changed by one single moment of empathy over judgment. So here's something powerful I want you to remember. Something to carry with you after you finish this video. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. That's not a cliché. It's a profound truth. The rude cashier at the supermarket, the quiet coworker who never joins in for lunch, the angry driver who cuts you off in traffic, the stranger walking past you on the street with a frown on their face. Each and every one of them is carrying invisible struggles. The weight of loss, the grip of fear, the immense pressure to succeed, the deep ache of physical or emotional pain. And sometimes, all a person really needs is not your judgment, not your criticism, but just a little bit of understanding, a small moment of grace. So the next time you feel that impulse to judge someone, and you will, because we all do, I want you to pause. Just for a second, take a deep breath, and remember the man in the coffee shop. Remember the boy sleeping in class. Remember that you are only seeing one chapter. You are not seeing the whole story. Choose to be kind. Choose to be patient. And above all, choose to be curious. Because one day, you might be the one having a rough day. You might be the one who looks tired or seems distracted. And on that day, you're going to hope that someone gives you that same gift of understanding. If this message touched you, please share this video with someone you think needs to hear it. Let's spread this idea, because the world truly becomes a better, kinder, and more connected place when we choose understanding over judgment. Thanks for watching.